Hey, I'm fixing to show you my dad's secret peanut brittle recipe. So don't tell nobody, okay? Secret. So now my dad used to make this when I was a little boy. And the process then was a whole lot more difficult than it is now. And he never really did any exact measurements or anything. So later when I got him to teach me how to do it, I came up with exact measurements for everything to help you out. But what my dad used to do is roast peanuts in the oven, and then he'd shell all these peanuts, and then he had a grinder, like an old meat grinder with a thing like this, you know, and he would grind up them peanuts. And when he get the peanuts ground up, then he'd start the whole process. Now, the big thing about this is there's simple ingredients in it, but it's mainly the process that goes in. So what we've gotten it down to is there's 2 cups of sugar right here. Two cups of sugar. Okay. Need 2 cups of sugar and a 16-ounce jar of dry roasted peanuts. See how easy that is? You don't have to mess with an oven or anything. You can go to the store and they sell these things just like this. And you can bring them home and start the whole process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these peanuts and we're going to put them in this newfangled thing we got called a food processor. And we're going to put these peanuts in it and then we'll start the process. So hold on now. I'm going to show you all this. So just bear with me, okay? Okay, so here we are at the food processor. And I'm going to see if I can remember how to use that thing. Because if I mess it up, my wife will have a fit. A hissy type of fit. So we're taking our peanuts, and through the magic of camera, I've already removed this aggravating seal that usually takes me 3 or 4 days to get off because of my arthritic hands and whatnot. But anyway, we just dump these in there. We'll recycle this later because we're all responsible and stuff. And so now we put this thing on. This is always the hardest part of any of these things, is getting these things on correctly. Don't that make a lot of noise? Now we're not going to make peanut butter. We're just going to kind of chop these things up, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a minute. Okay, you see that consistency? That's what we're wanting right there. We just want those peanuts chopped up. Can you see that? All right, so that's what we're going to want. And that's the first part of that process. Now I'm going to take that little thing out of there. Try not to make a mess once again, because you know it's all about not making a mess. And then we'll start melting our sugar, and I'll show you that next. Okay, we got a little saucepan here, Teflon saucepan. We're going to turn our burner on high, and what we're going to do is melt this sugar. I've already measured out 2 cups of sugar. We're just going to throw that in there. Get that out of the way. I've got a non-stick type utensil I'm going to use here to stir this. And what I got to do is get this sugar to turn liquid. Now that takes a little time, but the main thing is you got to keep stirring things so that it all melts evenly and nothing, there's no lumps or anything in it. Saucepan wants to do the merry-go-round. So my dad got this recipe. We thought he was some kind of magic man because he come up with this recipe. And I have not met anybody that makes it like this. And I've not met anybody that does not like it. It's different. But once you tried it, I think you would prefer it over the standard method of whole peanuts, corn syrup, and Karo syrup and things like that. I've never made the other kind, so I don't know what all goes into that. And I'm sure there's a process to it as well. So, but I finally, after talking to my dad over years, I tried to make this stuff, and we would sell it at events and things like that. I thought I could make a business out of it, but turned out it was just not in the cards to do that. So now I just make it for family and everything, and I'm hoping to pass it on to my kids. But my dad finally told me that he learned this from a neighbor of theirs back when they were living on the farm. This would have been back during the Depression era. And he learned it from her, and he's been doing it ever since. Now this takes a while for this to start melting, but you just got to keep at it and keep making sure that you're stirring things. But when Dad was doing it, we didn't have the things we have these days. Like I said, he was using an old grinder to get the peanuts right. And, we didn't have non-stick pots, and, they didn't have, like I'm using this silicone baking pad over here. And I've got some non-stick spray on it, which we'll use to stretch the peanut brittle. But he used a sheet and flour back when to try to keep all that stuff from sticking, and he would get so aggravated when that stuff started sticking. And it's hot, you're trying to work it real fast, and he would get very he'd get kind of aggravated at it. And that's the reason it was such a treat, because we didn't get it that often, because it was a process to do. And I don't do it that often either, because it is messy and it takes a while to do it. So see, everything's starting to crystallize here. The sugar's starting to crystallize and getting in some clumps. It's beginning to get liquid in some spots. Now once this melts and gets the right consistency, we can't let it sit. We throw the peanuts in there, we get it all stirred up, we throw it out on this silicone pad over here, and we start working it. And we want to get it as thin as we can, and we want to stretch it. That's where the crispiness comes from. I'm wearing this fedora because this is a type of hat my dad used to wear back in the 50s and early 60s. This is actually his hat. So this is in honor of him. But I'm showing y'all this, but it's got to be a secret. Can't be telling everybody. After you see me do this, you may not ever want to do it. Got to keep stirring real vigorously now when we start getting all that, because we don't want that other to burn before we all get it liquid here. Got one little stubborn clump here. Now we throw the peanuts in, get that all stirred together, Get all that incorporated. Everything's got to have sugar on it. Everything's got to get incorporated good here. Now we got it all out on the sheet here. We're going to roll it out. I'm going to use these forks. We're going to start stretching everything. Get these pieces as stretched as we can before they cool off. It's hot as all get out, so it'll burn your hands. But you get it all stretched out. Try to get it as thin as you can, stretch it as much as you can while it's still pliable. And that's pretty much it. And here's what it looks like after it's finished. Get me a little piece here. Break them up in smaller pieces, whatever you like. I like to see it stretched out a little better than some of this turned out, but it all is a matter of your timing and you know, how much you're able to stretch it and pull it and get it thinner. But no matter whether it's thin, how thin you get it, it's still some good eating. So, hope this was helpful. That's my serious chewing. I ain't needing to chew that much. But anyway, hope this was helpful. If you decide to make it, if not, if you talk to me real nice, I might make you some. I mean, it had to be real nice. Thanks a lot for watching. This is big enough to handle all of this. I gotta turn on the right burner because I'm stupid.